What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the news with Lloyd here on English TV Live. My name is Lloyd, if you've never seen me before. This is the program, the show where you can boost your vocabulary by looking at a recent news story which I have chosen each week. So hello to everybody out there, whether you are watching inside of our private community, of course, if you're watching on our public Facebook page, and over on YouTube as well. Wherever you are watching from, whichever device, whichever country, very happy to see you all. You might be able to recognize I'm in a different location today. I've moved to another apartment again. You might remember last week there was some knocking on the door during the show from an annoyed neighbor. So hopefully that will not happen today. But if it does, it does. Hopefully not today. Unfortunately, the background is a little bit vanilla compared to last time, but it's all okay. Let me just see who's joining us right now inside the private community. By the way, the headline, of course, today is... the story is about a job opening or several job openings at somewhere you might know very well. That is Disneyland, specifically Disneyland in Paris. Let us know in the comments if you have been to Disneyland or Disney World. I have been to Disneyland Paris once when I was about 10 years old. It was quite a while ago. But we're talking today about job openings at Disneyland Paris for the summer. So summer jobs at Disneyland. So being the different characters, whether it's Cinderella, Snow White, Elsa, etc. Right? I think Star Wars is part of Disney now as well, isn't it? Darth Vader and all those. So we're going to look at what requirements you need to have if you want to work at Disneyland this summer. If you are interested. So before we get into that, let me just say hello to some people in the comments here. Mia, hello. Jacob is with you in the comments in the private community. We also have Julia, nice to see you. Asim, Vasil, Ekaterina, who was the points champion for last month. So congratulations to you. Who's going to win this month? We will have to wait and see. Najwa, nice to see you. Victor, who is not too far away from... Actually, maybe he is far away. Russia is very big. I'm in Ukraine at the moment. Russia is a next door neighbor. All right. Mia says, I've never been to Disney. There's a tradition here. When you turn 15, you might go for a trip to Disney US. I have also I've been to Disney World in America, in Florida, in Orlando, Florida, right? It's in Orlando, Florida. I have been there once, but I was 3 years old at the time. So, as you might be able to guess, I can't remember that, unfortunately. I do have some pictures of myself and Mickey Mouse and Minnie Mouse having a great time together. It was the real ones, of course, by the way, the real ones. This is very cool, by the way. It seems as though now all of the comments, this must be an update on the software I'm using, all the comments from the different platforms can come on the screen. That is very cool. That's just happened. That must be a brand new update. So we have Ines on Facebook who says good morning. We have Furat over on YouTube. That's great. Wow. I didn't know that was possible, but that is very cool. But without further ado, why don't we get into this story then? But let me ask you first, what is your dream job? Do you have a dream job? Is there a job? Are you working in your dream job at the moment? I mean, there's not too many people out there, I don't think, who could say that they are doing the job that they always dreamed of. But if you are, let us know. What is your dream job? We would love to know. Did you have a dream as a child and that changed later on? Let us know in the comments. And let's get into the story then, and then I'll look at some of your comments after that. So the headline for today is Disneyland Paris is hiring new princes and princesses, but there are strict rules. I've heard that Disney in general is very strict with as you would expect, I guess, with their employees, what they expect of their employees, the requirements, etc. But there are strict rules if you want to apply to be one of the characters at Disneyland. By the way, Jacob says, my dream job is professional golfer. Well, don't give up, Jacob. I mean, the good thing about being a professional golfer is that it's a long career. I mean, you see guys who are like in their 50s, 60s still playing at the top level. So don't give up, Jacob. You're still a young man. And Eugenia says, I'd like to be a writer. Very nice indeed. So let's get into this article and let's look at some vocabulary, shall we? So, Disneyland Paris is on the lookout for new princes and princesses to work at the park over the summer. The theme park needs 50 new people to play Cinderella, Elsa. Elsa is from Frozen, right? Belle, where's Belle from? Belle is from Beauty and the Beast, right? And all your other favorite characters. Now, the first piece of vocabulary for today is to be on the lookout. Okay, to be on the lookout, to be on the lookout. That means you are actively trying to find something. Now, an example could be, I'm on the lookout for a new city to live in. Any suggestions? Any suggestions? This is often the case for me. I'm often on the lookout for new places to go, new cities to explore, new apartments, often as well. You're actively looking for something. So to be on the lookout. Also, you could ask somebody to be on the lookout. The first example which comes to mind is obviously not one that you should try, but a bank robber, maybe a bank robber, two bank robbers could go to a bank and obviously try and rob the bank. One guy could say, okay, you keep a lookout. You stay on the lookout for the police. I'm going to go in and take the money. Obviously, it's not a way I advise you to use it, but you get the point. To be on the lookout. You're actively looking for something. Maybe the police were on the lookout for any troublemakers, such as the bank robbers. The police were on the lookout. They're actively looking for the troublemakers. I know we have a few troublemakers in our community, including me. All right. 2 separate open auditions will take place on June the 8th, and they will last all day. The first is for male and female lookalikes, but there are very strict height rules, and hopefuls will be measured when they arrive. Quick word there, hopefuls. So hopefuls is, obviously you can be hopeful, but a hopeful in the noun form is a person who wants to do something. Maybe they want to get a position. In this case, they want to get the job. They're hopeful. They haven't got it yet. They are hopeful. They really want to get this job. And this one here, then open auditions means auditions that anyone from the public can attend. So if you think about TV shows like The X Factor, American Idol, things like that, they are open auditions, right? Anybody can audition. But maybe for a specific movie where a director is trying to choose his actor, he's not going to have open audition. Maybe he will, but often he has maybe a couple of actors in mind, and he will have maybe closed auditions with just a few different candidates, for example. Actually, I went to some open auditions when I was very, very young. When I was about 5 or 6 years old, my mother took me to these auditions for, I don't know if you've ever heard of the Milky Bar Kid. So in England, there's, ironically, I really hate white chocolate, but there's a popular white chocolate bar in England called the Milky Bar. And in the advert, they have this little blonde boy. He's like a cowboy. I was very blonde when I was younger. I'm still blondish, more brown now. Anyway, so they needed I think the kid who was playing that character retired or was getting too old or something. They wanted to get a new one. So I went to the open auditions for this. I remember it quite well actually for this role in this commercial. I was about 6 or 7 years old, and there were thousands and thousands and thousands of little blonde boys like me. And I remember when I went onto the stage with about 20 other kids. They would have like 20 kids at a time, and you had to say this one catchphrase from the commercial, from the advert. It's like, "The Milky Bars are on me." And I remember I did a terrible job. Suffice to say, I didn't get the job, but I just remember doing a terrible job. I remember seeing the judge's eyes rolling. Oh God. Anyway, look at me now, Judge. I'm on English TV Live. All right. Anyway, next one is lookalikes. All right, lookalike. So a lookalike is somebody who looks very similar to somebody else. You can have celebrity lookalikes, for example. They look very similar to that person. Often their profession, their job is actually working as a lookalike. Maybe somebody's having a party, they want to invite a lookalike of the Queen, for example. And yeah, lookalike. Last night's party had a very convincing Elvis lookalike. That's probably the most common lookalikes in the world. Elvis, I would say. That's probably one of the most popular. So there was a very convincing Elvis lookalike. Convincing means he looked just like him. But he couldn't sing well, though. By the way, cheers. Got a coffee here. I think it's my first coffee of the day, unbelievably. All right. So here are the requirements then. Women must be between 160 centimeters and 173 centimeters and need to have elegant, graceful qualities and no visual tattoos. So elegant, graceful, so to act with grace, to be very stylish, and no visual tattoos. So if you have any tattoos, well, maybe you have a tattoo, I don't know, under your hair or something that people can't see, but no visual tattoos. So tattoos on your arm or your face would not be accepted by Disney. Men must be between 160 centimeters and 183 centimeters. That kind of surprised me, actually, because you would expect, I don't know, it's a little bit lower than I expected. I think I can just make it. With compelling masculine features and, again, no visual tattoos. No tattoos for the men or the ladies. Okay? We are going to go into more detail in this article, introduce more vocabulary, but to all of the public members out there, we're going to say goodbye. And to the private community, we have the question of the day for you. So don't go anywhere. Be back in a few seconds. But to all the people in the public community, thank you very much for joining. Private community, be back in just a few seconds. Question of the day. Write your answers in the comments.